Oh, is it 6 o'clock?
Yeah, we're 6 o'clock.
But yeah, if you have any questions as we're going through this, feel free to drop them in the comments or the chat section down there, and I'll be keeping an eye on that. And Mom will be teaching us all the things we can do with our booties tonight.
Yeah, booty. I'm also on Facebook Live. I just have another device up here too, so just letting everybody know if you're on Facebook or on Zoom. Welcome to the Twerk Fest. Do you want me to start? Should we give them a couple more minutes, or what do you want to? What should we do?
Give it like one more minute. The other thing I'd say is also, if you're not familiar with this format, you can put it into speaker view, which will put Mom up on your screen, like full screen for you. So it's good to have that up to follow along, so you won't see both of our faces. But yeah, I think we can probably get going at 6:01.
Okay, I don't know. I'm wondering where do people find speaker mode?
So you should see it at the top of your Zoom box here. It's kind of like up on the upper right-hand corner.
Okay, cool. All right, well, here we are. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you can see me. Yeah, okay, this looks good. So I've been doing this for a couple weeks, and I'm just going to run it through kind of the way that I've been doing it so far during our lovely shelter at home thing, where I'm going to just go over some introduction movements, which are kind of isolations, and then we do like some body rolls and stuff, and this is kind of to warm up so we don't go right into just like hard gyration on the lower back and squatting basically, and that'll just give us like some good movement and flush us out a little bit, get the blood flowing, and then we'll get into the basic booty pop, which is kind of the classic one that you're used to seeing with the hands on the knees, and we'll get into like this kind of pop motion. We'll spend most of our time on that, and if we have enough time after that and we have enough energy, we, primarily meaning me, we'll go into kind of like a little breakdown of, you know, some resting twerk, because twerking is really hard, where you come out of the squat and, you know, you kind of just like learn how to jiggle other things. If we have some time, we'll get into that, but I want to spend most of the time in the actual making sure we can get that nice pop motion, yeah, and we can get that what I call the jiggle, which is the residual jiggle. So to start with, just to warm up, obviously we've been through most of our day by now, so we shouldn't be too tight or anything like that, but we're going to go through isolations, which is kind of really good for twerking and really good for any kind of hip hop, because a lot of hip hop is isolating movement in one part of the body while you keep the rest of the body stagnant or solid. And so if we just start kind of at a shoulder length apart and kind of this resting idea, we're going to keep all of this from the neck down totally grounded. And then we're just going to use the head. And I usually like to lead. The idea for me is to lead with the chin on some isolation. So if we're keeping this all flat, we're just going to stick the neck out. So this is like moving the head forward. And we're trying to keep the shoulders down and everything else solid. And then we're going to go to the, I guess that's my left. We're going to go forward, left, back, and right. So you're going to make this little circle. And you want to hit each point. We're not just going to do like a solid, like smooth circle. You want to actually like hit, and hit, and hit, and hit. So the thing with hip hop and with twerking primarily is this idea of a solid movement and then kind of the fallout. This is where the twerking comes from. So like I'm going to make a solid pop with my booty and then everything else is going to jiggle. So you want to be able to make sure that you're keeping everything sound, that you hit something hard enough so that it kind of makes the visual impact that you want, right? So the head isolation is again going to go forward, we're going to go to the left, we're going to go back, and then we're going to go to the right. And we're going to do that a few times, and then when we'll be starting here and we go the other way. So, you know, you'll do we'll probably do 4 circles like this, and then when we hit this right side, we'll go back and hit each one the other way and do about 4 circles like that. So we'll start with the head, and we get to the shoulders. And this is where we want to keep our face and our torso and our hips and our feet grounded. And then we're just going to, this is kind of the easiest one. We're kind of, especially at RCR, we're kind of used to regular stretching through the shoulders. And so this is kind of probably going to be the easiest isolation. We're just going to bring the shoulders up, going to bring them forward, down, and back. Up, forward, down, and back. So going the forward, that's going to be the first way that we do our circles, our isolation circles for the shoulder. And then so we're up, forward, down, and back. And then from the back to reverse them, when we do the other way, we'll go down, forward, up, and back, right? Okay. So we'll do 4 this way and 4 this way. And the next thing we'll do is the chest isolations. These are probably the hardest if you haven't done any isolations before. So I will keep my hands here sometimes, or keep my hands kind of rigid here and like away from the chest so that you're making sure you can get the chest movement. If we're doing something like this, it's really hard to move the chest and not move the shoulders. So you can do it here and kind of keep, that way it isolates the chest easier for you, or you can keep them kind of down almost like in a rigid ballet frame, right? Okay, so in the other ones we were going forward, left, back, and to the right. For this and another variation of the hips, you actually kind of imagine that you've got an X right in the middle of your chest. So instead of going forward to the left and back, we are turning that idea on its axis so that we're actually hitting a right corner point, a left corner point, a left back, and a right back. So if I have my hands on my hips here, I'm going to hit to the right, hit to the left, hit to the back left, hit to the back right. So going, yeah? Right, left, back, back, right, left, back, back. Okay. And then to go the other way, we're going to go, we'll have hit the back right. We'll hit the back right, and then we'll go the back left. We'll go up to the left, and then to the right. So go back, back, left, right, to go the other way. Again, we're going to go this way 4, and we're going to go this way. And then on the hips, kind of to warm us up for that booty popping motion, you can put your hands on the hips again here, or you can have them wherever you like them. We're just going to do a rock where we're going to hit the pelvis forward and hit the pelvis back. Forward, back, forward, back. So this is going to happen, I think, 8 times. I think I tried to do it 6 times one time, and it just didn't work out. So we're going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do that 8 times. And then we're actually going to do a second isolation with our hips, which again is kind of what we did with the chest, where we're going to implement that X in the middle of our pelvis, and we're going to hit this right corner, and we're going to hit the left corner, we're going to hit the left back, and then the right back. So again, this is something you can really focus on, how to get that the jiggle, or the residual jiggle. You want to hit this hard, and you can kind of feel, if I do it this way, I go to the right, and then you can kind of see that jiggle, the residual jiggle that I get from the pop. So you want to get that on each isolation. Yeah.
Mom, will you walk us through all of these things before we do those motions?
What do you mean walk us through?
I think that I'm having a hard time with digesting everything that you're saying. So if we're going to do like a specific isolation, if it's the head or the hips or anything else, will you like show us how to do that before we do them?
Sure, of course.
Great.
So what we can do actually is we'll do, I'll go through them again, and then we'll do maybe 2 at a time. So we'll do like the head and the shoulders, take a break, talk about the chest and the hips, and then do the chest and the hips. How about that? Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So going back to this, and then we'll just do the head and the shoulders with the music. But to finish, again, implementing that X in the inside of your pelvis. As we start to do this, you're going to hit that X on the right side, hit it on the left, and then hit it to the back left and back right. Okay? So we'll spend a few seconds warming up we'll do the face. I always want to say face. We'll do the head, and then we'll do the shoulders. So again, looking at those, because these are they're on the same axis. So this is probably good to do it this way. We're going to do the head, and we're going to bring it forward, and we're going to bring it to the left, bring it to the back, and to the right. You can put your hands on your shoulders here, and that can help you kind of remain focused that you're moving your head and not your shoulder. You're not dipping your shoulders this way, not crunching them this way or such. And we'll do a bunch of these. How about we'll do that? We'll go this way, and we'll maybe do 8 circles so that you're kind of really getting that isolation movement and really hitting those points like you want to hit, 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 right? Remember, we're not just doing this. And then same thing with the shoulders. So the shoulders are actually going to go up first, and then forward, and then down, and then back. And then we'll do that a bunch. And then we'll go back. We'll talk about the chest and the booty. Does that sound good? All right. So I'm going to start the music. We'll count it down, and we'll just do what feels good. I'll talk you through. I'll say like one or two more, and then we'll switch going the other way. And then when we do the shoulders, I'll say we're going to do shoulders, and then we're going to switch the rotation. I'll say that we're about to switch it. See how that works. If it doesn't, we will reformat things. Okay, so also, hopefully this isn't too loud or too quiet. Okay. So we're going to start with the head. And if I want to put my hands here, and here we go. Forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. Let's start with the hands down. Forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. We're going to do this one more time, and then we're going to go the other way. Other way. So now we're going to go back, left, forward, right. Back, forward, left, right. Back, forward, left, right. Remember, make those hips strong. It's kind of hard with the head because you only get a couple inches of movement, but you want them to be precise. Last one. All right, let's drop the hands and let's do the shoulders. So again, you want to keep the head straight this time and solid, and the chest. And go up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down. Let's go the other way after this one. Down and back. So we're going to go down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, and back. All right. That was perfect. So hopefully that worked out and we got enough repetitions that you're feeling that solid movement. And then so let's go over the chest and the hips. Let us know if we want to do that again, or if there's anything else that I need to slow down in my explanation or the practice. So again, going to the chest. Again, we're using, so we were doing this where we were going forward, left, back, and right. We're just going to turn that this way into our chest. So it's actually like you're going to pew out the nipples, right? So you're going to go, again, you can have your hands on have your hands on your hips, or you can have your hands down here at your sides, but you don't want them tight against your chest because that's just going to get everything moving. So if we go with hands on the hips, and we're, again, the ones we just did, we're on this axis, and we're kind of just going to tweak it a little bit this way. So that we're just going to pew with the nipple pew, pew, right? Okay. So if you have your hands on your hips, you're going to go right to the right diagonal with the chest. And then you're going to go, I do that all the time. You are going to go to the left. So if we've gone right, and then we go to the left, and then we sink in. So you sink in the chest, and you're using maybe this third rib or so to jet backwards. So if we've gone forward and forward, and we jet that left rib back into that little X point. So we just hit it back into the left, and then we do the same thing with this rib right back here, where we hit it hard to the right. Same thing. Oh, just popped up. So you don't want to. So we're not just doing the pop up. We're popping to the right, in front, the left, in front, left back, and left right. This is definitely the hardest isolation, I think, for the body to learn, because this is not something we normally do in our daily lives, or even really in any structured dancing that is, taught. Like, we don't do this in ballet or jazz, right? Okay, so again, to the right front, left back, right back. And then when we go the other way, we'll have finished with that right rib to the back. So when we were going to switch it, go the other way, and hit the left, and then the left front, and then the right. Back, back, front, back, back, front, front. So we'll do that a bunch, kind of like how we did with the head, and then we'll go the other way. Hopefully I give you enough warning to go the other way. And then we'll get to the hips. And then the hips is the first thing. We are just going to go rocking forward and rocking back. So this is kind of easy. For learning twerk and stuff, you can definitely have your hands on your hips, and this is a good practice to start with. Putting your hands like this, or like this, where you're actually putting them on your hip bones and they're helping you with the movement. It kind of just reminds you what movement you're taking. You're not actually just doing the work with your hands. You should be doing the work with your abs and your lower back. But it is a good reminder as to holding your core taut and just moving the hips. So we'll just do this like a bunch, I guess, as we kind of work up and loosen the hips. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on our chest by moving that axis from the front and back that we were just doing. And we're going to tilt it this way so that you're actually using your front hip bones to hit the corners that we were doing with our chest. So you're going to go hit front right, hit front left, and then those, like kind of the upper part of your butt cheek, you're going to send that to the back left. So we've gone front with the hip bone, front with the hip bone, and then that upper little part of your butt, you're going to shoot that back and then shoot this one back. So we've turned, so first we're going front and back, and then we're turning it this way so that we're going to the corner, to the corner, to the back corner, to the other corner. You can keep your hands on your hips for this part as well. If you like, you can have them down, put them up, right? And so we're starting with the right, going to the left, and then we'll go the other way. So we'll have finished with the right pop back here, we'll pop back to the left, and then this way. So that's the other direction, right? Doing these hip things, really focusing on that pop and that hit is going to be important for kind of building up your jiggle self-esteem, I suppose. Is like, maybe I can show you sideways. If I'm clenching and like really driving, it kind of looks like this, and I'm holding everything rigid. I'm holding my leg all the way through my knee and my torso rigid, and so I'm moving like this, and I'm getting no jiggle, and I'm kind of moving my whole body. So when we do the corners, as we're hitting our hip bones, you want to hit, maybe you can see that. You want to hit, and you'll see that little jiggle. You want to hit, and you'll feel it on the left side. Same thing as we go back, and if I go back on the right, I can still feel that little jiggle. So you want to make sure that you're hitting each point and waiting for that nice, like that thigh validation, that butt validation that said you've hit it hard enough. You can feel it, yeah? So again, we're going to do this now with the chest, and then the front, the pelvic shift like this, and then the exits. So again, on the chest like this, we're going to go front right, front left, back right. And then when we go the other way, it'll be back right, back left, front right. Then we're going to do these buddies, and then we'll do, again, the same thing we did with the chest on the hips, where we're hitting to the right, and the left, and the back left, and the back right. And then we'll do several of those, and then hit from the back right, the back left, back front, and front right. So that will be going the other way. All right, let's give it a go. See, I'm already working. Like already somewhat short of breath. All right, So again, you can have your hands on your hips, or you can have them kind of like in that stiff ballet pose. And again, we're going to start with the right. Okay, here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, left, back, back. 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 Let's do one more. Right, left, back, back. So we're going to go the other way. And now we're going to be on the right back. Left front, right front. One more after this. All right, now hands on the hips. We're just going to rock the pelvis. Again, front, tuck the butt, out, back. Front, back. Front, back. Again, waiting for that jiggle. Back, front, back, front. We should do a couple more of these. We're going to spend a lot of time doing this. One more to the back. All right, and so now we're going to change that axis and we're going to hit the hip points, yeah? 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, left, back, back. Right, left, back, back. Remember to hit these hard so you can get that jiggle. Still more, there's still more, I swear. There we go. Preview. Okay. Oh, we stayed kind of on the music. So let's do one more of these, and we're going to go the other way from right here. Left back. Right back. Left back. Left. Right. Forward. Forward. Okay, a couple more. You can see my thighs jiggle here. That's what you're looking for. You can feel it just in your body. As you start to hit these strongly, everything should give you the jiggle. Last one. All right. Good. You got isolations. That's all the isolations. If there are any questions or anything, we can field those right now. Otherwise, I'd like to do kind of a complicated little finish to that where we're going to do all of that. So we'll do the head and the shoulders and the chest and the hip pelvic stuff and then the hip X's. And then we will kind of body roll. I'm not going to give you any really I'm not going to tell you how to do your body roll. We did these isolations so that you can isolate at one point or another. I'll do it to the side. So we did the head thing, right? So the thing with a body roll is that you're leading one motion, everything else is still, and as you start to roll, this one, the one that you just finished with, should go back to being grounded while the other one is moving. Yeah? So because we did the head, the shoulders, the chest, and the pelvis, you should be willing to try this, and it's definitely not a first-time thing, but just doing those isolations kind of can get you into the body awareness that you need to lead with the chin, follow with the shoulders, bring the chin back to neutral and standing. As the chest rolls out, then it's back to normal, and we've passed that on to the hips, right? So like that. It's that easy. It's really not that easy. It took me forever. So again, isolating one movement, finishing as you lead into the other movement, finishing as you lead into the other. So we're just going to do head, shoulders, chest, pelvis, and like 3 body rolls, and then we are going to twerk. This is kind of getting that your body ready. to do the harder work, I swear. So I'll count us down. It gets a little sloppy. If it gets a little sloppy, that's totally fine. Do the isolations as they come, and as you know, if you're on a different hit point than we are, it's totally fine, as long as you're just trying to get those motions in. So let's try it again. And it's going to go fast. It's going to feel fast. 5, 6, 7, 8. Forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. We're going to do 2 more. Forward, left, back, right. Last one. Forward, left, back, right. Now we're going back, left, forward, right. Back, left, forward, right. Back, left, forward, right. Now we're on to shoulders. Up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. Last one. Up, forward, down, back. So now we go down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back. Last one. Down, forward, up, back. Chest, right, left, back, back, left, forward, back, back, left, forward, back, and back. Last one. Left, that's right. Left, back, and back. The other way. So now we're going to hit this back one. Left, forward, back, back, left, forward. This is our third one. We're going to do one more. Now we're going to just rock the hips. 1, back, forward, back, forward, back. This is where the music drops out. It's totally fine. We're still doing it. We're still rocking it. Feel that jiggle. Especially on the pop back. Okay, so now we're going to change it. We're going to hit that x-axis on our hips. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, left, back, back. Right, left, back, back. Right, left, back, back. Last one. Right, left, back, back. We're going the other way, so now we're hitting the left back. Left back. Left back. Last one. And now you can spend some time and try this body roll. You do with the chin. Begin with the side. Begin with chin. Come back. Try another one. One more. All right. Boom. We have warmed up for the twerking. All right. Is there anything anybody wants to ask about isolations and body rolls before we get on to twerking? Now is the time. Otherwise, like me, wipe your upper lip because you're sweating. And then we will get into it. Okay. Also, it's important to have hoops. No, it's not, but I rarely do any twerking without hoops. I've actually rarely lived life without hoops, let's be real. Okay, so now into the meat of the twerk-tutorial, the best part. So everyone knows about twerking, and the first thing that really comes to mind with twerking, if we don't have any questions, is right this kind of squatted booty pop. This one, yeah. Twerk. You know, when you think of twerk, it looks like this. Okay, so let's work on this motion. Now, when we were doing those isolations and I was talking about having the hands on the hips, this is really important to beginners if this motion feels foreign to you. Having the hands on the hips, because at least for me, it helped me remember as I'm driving my pelvis forward, I'm pushing with my thumb and lifting, kind of pulling with my fingers. So it kind of helps me to snap that and hit that transition hard. And the opposite when I'm popping up is that I'm pushing with my fingers, my four fingers, and pulling up with my thumb. So it can help you remember the motion. If you've already got it down, you can always just have your hands here or normal hands. So I just learned this somewhat recently. These normal hands, twerk hands, thumbs down for twerk hands, or you can put them here on your thighs. You don't want to put them up here because it stifles your booty movement, and so right above your knees. And you also want to find like a good squat to get into. You don't want to bring it down already here. This is extreme squatting, and the longevity of that is very hard on your body. Having your squat like too light means that you can't really get a good enough pop. So you want just kind of like a comfortable 3/4 squat, I would say. And twerk hands or your hands here on your hips, because you can still do it. So I'm going to first show you things not to do or things that your body will try to get you to do, and then you just have to fight it to not do that. So the first thing is you have, if we tuck in, kind of like if you're taught in ballet or just good posture in general, you were kind of told instead of when we're standing, you don't stand like this. This is like not good posture. And they tell you to tuck your tailbone, yes, it kind of lengthens your spine out. So if I'm down there like this and twerking, I've got a nice straight spine right now. We kind of call this, or I've started calling this like the shy butt. It's like, ooh, tuck it away. I'm kind of shy about twerking. Don't want anybody, I've got a little shy butt. Well, for twerking, you actually want that little dip, right? That little V in the spine. And you want to have an out there and proud butt. You don't want no shy butts for twerking. So we're going to start from this natural unshy. I don't know what the antonym for shy is. Extroverted. You want an extroverted butt. There we go. So you're going to start from here, and then we're going to pop it up. And again, if I have my hands here, I'm pulling up with my thumb and pushing down with my four fingers. I'm doing all of the work here in my lower back. Things that your body will try to get you to do is this, which does eventually move the butt, but kind of like we were talking about in isolations, you haven't isolated the rest of your body, so it doesn't look like the booty is the showcase, which it is. So you want to not do this. You also don't want your knees to be doing the popping part, right? This is all back. It's all right here, right? So you want to fight this full body motion. You also want to fight keeping everything tight, kind of how I was talking about earlier in the isolations, where if I clench my whole body and I try to twerk, this is what it's going to look like. And this is why we get people raising up on their feet or off their heels. And why you see this whole body motion is because it's kind of everything's rigid. So you want to keep everything rigid from the knees down for sure and the waist up for sure. Primarily too, unless you're really, really thorough with like the thighs, you want to keep this taut too, but you want to let this go so that you can really get this pop. So it's all in the back and not in the knees or the upper back. Looks like Meg, you have a comment, question?
Oh, someone was just asking, I think you kind of maybe answered this and that, but they were wondering what can you do to loosen up and let the jiggle out?
So, yeah, this might help too. So really, because you really do have to fight that kind of, that clenching. And so what I do here is, it really is, and that's why isolations are so good, is to feel that feels like to get the jiggle. So we're going to slow it down and do that right now, where you can put your hands on your hips like this, or you can put your hands down, your twerk hands on. And what I tell people is what you're trying to do when you're popping up like this so that you can free the jiggle. I love that. So you can free the jiggle is this idea that I'm tossing up my tailbone to smack myself in the back of the head. And we're just going to do it one time, one motion. So I'm down here, and I'm like using just this part of my back, and I'm really going to, I even sometimes, you'll see me, I'll do it right now, I'm sure, toss my head back, and I'm really trying to get that tailbone to hit the back of my head. So if you start from a neutral position, we're kind of nice and relaxed, and I just toss. You kind of wait for that feeling. Toss. You can feel that happen. Let's try it again. So you're going to toss your tailbone up into your back of your head. Toss. Toss. Yeah? So it is really kind of, you kind of do like spring load even. You'll see me, I'm kind of lower back down again and toss. Down and toss. So then you get that nice snapping jiggle. And then kind of just knowing what that feeling feels like frees up for the rest of your movements, I find. So that I can now, even if I'm trying some other kind of twerking thing, I just know that feeling. And so it kind of incites my body to free the jiggle more as I just kind of like muscle memory. It's jiggly memory. So we just do that a couple more times. Actually, you can see it from the front too. If you do it, if you really have freed the jiggle, you can see it from the front. So if I'm doing this here, and then I'm popping up, you can see kind of my belly jiggle, and you can see the sides of my ass jiggle and my thighs. So we pop, but you really have to wait for it. So a lot of the time, people get excited about twerk, and this is how we kind of tense up more, is because it's this idea that I have to go fast, and that's how you get the twerking. But you really don't. It really is about the residual jiggle. So you can twerk nice and slow. Still twerk. So we've got the up, and hopefully that's helped free your jiggle a little bit more. Love that, I'm stealing that. And then there's the down. So we've done the up, so now you're stuck here because you jammed your tailbone into the back of your head, and you've got that nice jiggle, and then you actually slim it back down. And we actually do tuck it in all the way here. The tuck, this is kind of the harder motion, and kind of why it drives us back up, because the up feels nice. You can kind of get that little jiggle on, but the down kind of feels like I'm supposed to tense here, but you really don't. You want to tuck and wait for that jiggle. So if we're starting up again, you can see it here. Tuck, jiggle. You're gonna get a lot of jiggle here and here, and it's just that really you could do it without looking. If you have a mirror, working in front of the mirror or beside the mirror where you can watch. I have a mirror here. This is why I'm always looking over here. Is very helpful. But if you do not have that, just that feeling coming down. So you want that same feeling as I throw it up, and I get that little pop and that jiggle. As I throw it down, you should be feeling the same thing. And that's what is building that jiggle memory. Up, down, up, down, up, down, right? So this still is a really good twerk, and we're not going super fast. And I would always say that you want to go slow first so that you don't build those habits of doing this, because that's unnecessary. And once you get used to this jiggle feeling, you can kind of just rock the pelvis a little faster while keeping the butt loose, right? So if we were doing this, you can and should first do this. We're popping up, hitting our tailbone to the back of the head, and then tucking down. Up and down. Any questions before we toss it on to music? Happy to go over anything else. I'm also still sweating and short of breath. It's working, it's working. But let's just do that motion. Oh, yes, is there anything?
No, I think we're good to go.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna put on, oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna put on music and we'll go through slow, and then we'll kind of ramp it up a little bit. Again, if you are still kind of not feeling it on one of these motions, you're welcome to continue going slowly. But if you want, I mean, even if, shit, whatever, if you just, I just swore on whatever. Anyways, if you just want to do this and feel that feeling, go ahead. As we kind of do speed it up just a little bit, go ahead and try it if you like. If you find yourself bringing the upper back into it, or you're bringing your knees into it, maybe continue to kind of just work it a little bit slower. All right, so I'm gonna start music, and I'll kind of just I'll set it like a rhythm for you, and then kind of not talk a whole lot, and then we'll do maybe, I don't know, 20 counts this way, and then I'll turn 20 counts this way, and we'll do like 20 more counts this way, and then we'll take a little break and talk about it again, and then do it again, and keep trying to kill ourselves. Okay? All right. 5, 6. All right. So hands on your hips, or twerk hands down on the knees. 5. Oh, just kidding. 5, 6, 7, 8. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah. So just keep this. I'm gonna turn. Up, down, 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 up, down. From the back. Again, bring that tailbone up to the back of your neck, back of your head. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. All right, let's go a little faster. We'll go slow for a couple, and then we'll speed it up for a second. Up, down, 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 up, down. All right, to the side. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. A little faster through the drop. Up, down, 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 up, down. Preview. Go to the back. Five, 6, 7, 8, and up, down, up. Really get that residual. Up, down, up, down. A little faster. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And there we go. Are you dying? Because I'm freaking dying. Yes. Up the upper lip. Catch my breath. Whew. Okay. That is the essence of twerking. If y'all, are there any questions? Are there any questions? And then I want to teach you a break before we get done with this. It'll probably take another 5 to 8 minutes or something. But if there are any questions, now is a good time. How are people feeling? Hopefully you're feeling that jiggle, that nice validation of the movement. And then you are definitely going to be feeling it like right here in that back muscles. Probably sweating. I'm sweating. Yeah. We good?
This is way harder than I ever imagined it would be.
I know.
I don't know about everybody else, but this is like working it.
Yeah, I know. I'm always just like, and I'm trying to still like talk, and I'm like, I swear, I'm in shape. It's fine.
So I'm personally feeling it like a lot in my quads. Is that
Yeah.
normal, or is it like okay?
Yeah. So I'm talking more about the back, but definitely, are you like here? Not
Yeah.
so here, but like right down here on the top of the knees. Yeah, most definitely. So here, let's talk about a break then, and then we'll do one more round of twerking with a little break, because this is important. So I always tell people like, you can how sustainable is doing this for 3-minute song? It's not sustainable. Well, unless you are a trooper, but everybody needs to take like little breaks within their dance motion, and this is one of the breaks that I really love. So that way you can get out of the squat, and like Meg was saying, you can kind of let that burn from right here kind of like dissipate as we take these little breaks. And so we're down here working it up, and you're just like, okay, I'm dying. You don't want to just be like, all right, I'm done. Put your twerk vest, right? So just getting and reviving back a little bit of that strength to get back down and to do this is what we call, or what I call, I guess, that little twerk break. And the first one I have already, whew, excuse me. This is up on my channel as well, Meditate and Move with Sarah, where we do meditation and twerking. So if this is a little too fast of a tutorial for this breakdown, you can go there and check it out. And you can go back and check out the regular twerking too. But so getting out of the squat and relieving the back is really important during these little breaks. But you want to keep, some kind of movement so it doesn't look like you've just abandoned dancing altogether. And so one that I really like is the thigh clap. There is a booty clap one, and we are going to get into that one probably next week if you follow along and do these tutorials with me. But the thigh clap is kind of an easier one to get, and because lots of us have from our CR these wonderful quads, you're going to get a lot of good jiggle from them. And as we go through this, you'll realize that me doing this and getting that nice thigh wiggle jiggle is taking minimal amount of effort so that I can just get back down, get into like the real grind that is the twerk. And then I need a break again, so we stand up and we do the thigh clap. Okay, so again, you're focusing on, like we did with isolations, of releasing one part of the body, which in this case is the thighs, keeping everything else rounded and rigid. So we can get this little wiggle on. Another thing I talk about too is when you take the break, it shouldn't look like a break. You shouldn't be like, okay, just taking this break now. So I try to keep the rest of my body engaged and like using as little energy as possible so that I can get back to twerking. A lot of the time, if I'm thigh jiggling, that looks like my hands on my hips, maybe like looking around like I'm the boss. Maybe I like point to my thighs like they're the boss. But all the while, I'm still staying engaged with the activity of twerking. This is kind of performative, but I still think it's a good thing to get into, especially if you're going to take the twerking to the dance floor. You don't want to just like, oh, eventually look bored while you're taking your break. So sometimes I put my hands up, and you're feeling yourself. So just make sure that when you take these breaks, you're still selling the dance, I suppose. That's what my point is. So to get this jiggle, and you'll see as you get it that it really takes minimal effort. If we stand like we were for twerking, shoulder length apart, we're going to just take our right foot, and we're going to step it out, step it back in, step it out, step it back in, step it out, step it back in. So you're going to do that again with the right foot, but what I want you to focus on this time is as you step out, slam it down and you hit it like we've hit all the isolations, like we've hit all the booty popping, you're going to get this little jiggle. And as you step in, you're going to get a little jiggle too. So wait for that pause, that beautiful little pause of the jiggle instead of just going, we're not just keeping time like this, right? So you want to go out, jiggle, in, jiggle, out, jiggle, in, jiggle, out, jiggle, in, jiggle, out, jiggle, in, jiggle. So let's do it with the left foot. Again, we're not just keeping time with it. We're gonna go out. Oh, this one you can see a little bit better. Maybe it's just the camera. As I go in, you see that little jiggle. Go out, go jiggle, in, go jiggle, out, in. Yeah? And you can almost feel it all the way up into your belly. Yeah. Okay? So now let's try to do it with both feet. And so you're going to see and feel, it's going to be pretty slow, but you're going to see and feel this residual jiggle, the jiggle. You're going to go out, jiggle, in, jiggle. Ooh, that's a good one. Out, jiggle, in, jiggle. So you can also do this wider apart, and you're still getting the jiggle, right? Out, jiggle, in, jiggle, out, jiggle. Check that. Yeah, check in right in there, right? Or you can go closer, and this is why we do call it the thigh clap, because your thighs will clap together. I know, it used to be like not the cool thing, but guess what? The thigh clap is banging right now. So, going out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Yeah? Already, this is easier than twerking, right? Okay. So now we've got that, and I'm sure you guys can all feel this. And you can actually, you'll feel it up the back thigh and into your butt too. So now the key is to do that same motion only, so wherever it's comfortable. If you were having better, if it was feeling better to be wider, have your feet wider. If it was feeling better to have them closer, have them closer. But now what we're doing is we are going to do that whole movement, but not move our feet. So you want to clamp down in your heels. Before, right, when you're doing this, you have most of your weight in the heels. It's the same thing. Weight in the heels, but we're not lifting our toes. And so, again, too, you don't want to twerk. You want to twerk, but you don't want to twerk your knees. So as I'm doing this and I'm fighting to not put my foot up, I don't want to do this and twerk my knee a whole lot. It will happen, and as you get better at this motion, the twerk isn't so great, so you can do it from the knee. But what I try to do, kind of like with my plow stops, is that I try to do it instead of like focusing on that grinding from my knee down. I try to like put all my pressure from the hip down, right? So it's not twerking the knee. Same thing here. So if I can do this motion of moving my leg out and in all the way from the hip joint, I'm not really sacrificing my knee. And maybe I'm a little more sensitive to it because I've had a full ACL reconstruction. And so it feels, as soon as I start putting too much torque on it, I can feel it in my knee. But again, so if we've done this and I've done the whole thing from my hip sockets, I'm still getting the jiggle. So I want to think about doing that same thing of turning it in and out from my hip sockets without moving my feet. You'll see, if you look at my feet, you'll see me kind of roll up onto the soles and into the soles like this. That's fine, right? Because this is actually how we're getting the jiggle. So again, you're you're grounded into your heels. And so if I'm just doing the right foot, I'm moving the right foot out, moving the right foot in, moving the right foot out, moving it in. You'll notice my foot's not moving, my hip and my leg is doing the same thing, and I'm still getting that jiggle. We do it to the left. It's like I'm opening my hip out. I'm just not moving my foot, right? Okay. So, just put my knee. So if we just do them together, so if we're grounded here, I've got my hands on my hips, I'm going out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Yeah? There we go. Again, same thing with that popping twerking. Does not have to be fast. You want to get this jiggle memory first. Out, in, out, in. So also, obviously, eventually, once you've got that muscle memory down, you just go a little faster. So out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. So this is the thigh clap. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. And then it becomes rapid style. This took me a long time. So if you're not doing this right now, don't worry about it. You're awesome, right? But we can just see, even if we're doing this This is a lot less stress on my body than twerking, yeah? So this is why it's the break. So it's like twerking, everybody loves it, need a break, we're up into side clap, like the boss, yeah? So, questions?
I was on mute. Are your glutes supposed to be tight or relaxed when you're doing the in and out hip stuff?
Relaxed. So it will definitely jiggle your butt. In fact, if we do the same thing like this, you're gonna see my butt move a lot. And so you actually can, maybe it's a little better from the side. This can work itself into a thigh booty clap, right? Where you can see that booty going. And then so the more jiggle you can get, good. You just call it the thigh because this is going to use like all of this, and this is kind of like a benefit. The booty's the benefit. Anything else anybody wants to question about that? Because we're just going to do a cycle of twerking and then standing up and taking a break, and then twerking and standing up, taking a break, and then twerking and standing up, taking a break, and call it good.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. So again, we'll count you down. So we'll do like 4 short. We'll do 4 slow ones, and then we'll do like 8 fast ones, and then we'll be like, okay, break. And so from this, a lot of the time I squeeze my legs in and then start. I kind of walk them in. Or you really can't just pop up and just start doing it right then. Okay, so your choice. You can walk it in, walk it back out even, whatever you like. But this will give you like a little, also gives you multi-levels to your twerk, so that you were down here and now you're up here. You still get the jiggle down here and you still get the jiggle up here. All right, let's give it a go. Again, we're gonna do 4 short, a few sped up, and then take the break, and I'll do it forward. I'll do it sideways and then to the back, and then I will probably collapse because I'm dying. Okay, here we go. Okay, twerk hands on your hips or on your knees. 5, 6, 7, 8. Up, down, up, down. Faster. And now we're going to stand up and clap. You can speed it up a little bit if you like. All right, let's go sideways. Probably twerk a little bit longer on this one. 5, 6, 7, 8. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. A little faster. Don't sacrifice the jiggle for speed. Never sacrifice the jiggle. And now let's take a break. Standing up, I'm going to walk it in. Out, in, out, in. A little faster if you like. All right, let's go in the back. All right, twerk hand. 5, 6, 7, 8. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. A little faster. Again, don't sacrifice the jiggle. We're going to stand up, out, in, out, in, out, in. A little faster. A little faster. And end with a finger bang. Bang, bang. Yeah, all right. So you got like a little twerk routine that you can do, you can practice, you can work out with, because it is crazy in the pants and I'm still dying.
Again, that was amazing, and also so much harder than I ever thought it would be. But yeah, for anybody who wants, we'll have this up on our YouTube channel on RoseCityRollers.com, or check the link for your mom's own channel in the comments. And thanks for coming and shaking your bums with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for helping me, Meg. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody else, for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see each other on the track and at the hangar soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, gosh.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.